I hate
Everything all right?
YouTube. It exists solely to piss me off. If I
What has
tell
happened?
YouTube to go live, but then minimize the page, it won't actually finish going live. And because of that, all the stream I've done so far is not on there, which means I'm going to have to transfer it from Twitch later.
Ah,
Oh,
damn.
wait, actually, it might have. No, it did get all of it. Why? I mean, I'm not going to complain because it does look like it got the whole thing. But at the same time, it wasn't actually streaming any of this time. It just has all of it as like a VOD, even though it wasn't streaming until now. Okay, well, no, maybe. I don't know what it did. I hate this. I
My condolences.
guess we'll see if it actually keeps the whole thing once I've ended it or not. If it doesn't, I'm going to be so annoyed.
Is it something that I could possibly check for you?
No, like I've checked everywhere where I could check. I'm hoping that, like, okay, in like YouTube, like in the back end where I can view like all the all the actual data for the stream, it has the entire stream. But when I go to the public page for it, it only has the last minute-ish. And I'm hoping that when I end the stream, it'll pull all of it from the back-end data, but I'll bet it's not going to, and I'm just going to have to export it from Twitch, which is a pain for a number of reasons, but it is what it is. But going back to what I was saying before, to the cursed knowledge that I've lived with for the last several years. So, like, when I talk about a language being Romanized, do you know what that means generally?
Like written in a way that we can pronounce
Written
it.
in the Latin alphabet.
Yeah.
So, like, a good example of a language that is Romanized very well is Japanese. It has, I don't think, any silent letters. It has very few letters that make different sounds from. English is a terrible language for the Roman alphabet, honestly. Like, there's no better alternative. I'm responding to my cousin in chat, by the way, with that. But, like, I'm also specifically talking about foreign languages being Romanized, languages that are not typically written in the Latin alphabet. But,
Yeah.
like, Japanese is very well Romanized. It has a consistent Romanization that makes sense for the way the language is written in its own characters. On the other hand, we have Chinese. The standard Romanization for Chinese was made by a guy who had never seen the Latin alphabet before and who associated the letters he thought looked the coolest with his favorite syllables. And as a result, it makes absolutely no sense.
On one hand, that's incredibly difficult, and why the hell would he do that? On the other hand, it is incredibly funny to picture.
Here we go. So, yeah, from this guide that I use, C before a vowel is always pronounced like English TS, so ts, and never like K, and never either of its standard pronunciations. Q is always pronounced like CH, which is reasonable enough. X is always pronounced like SH, which is less reasonable, but still not terrible. I is silent after C, S, Z, R, and H.
Ah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay, except this guide has conflicting information in it too. This second thing is okay. Yeah. The letter I is sometimes a vowel and sometimes a dummy letter to show that the preceding consonant is a full syllable by itself. However, if the letter I is immediately followed by another vowel, it functions as a consonantal Y, but flavors the following vowel. The letter as a dummy letter. I after H or R, pronounced like the English letter R. I after S, C, or Z is pronounced like the English letter Z. And it just, like, I is by far the most, like, the greatest offender in terms of just nonsense with Chinese romanization, but none of it really makes sense. Like, all of it is bad. And for some reason, that's just the standard that we've used forever, basically, for as long as we've been romanizing the language.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But, like,
oh yeah, that's the achievement I was talking about.
oh, which one? I didn't actually look at what it was.
When opportunities converge.
No, I guess it's. I see.
May you gather more. 20 times and listen to their reactions, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I thought that Xing Yi was bad.
Yeah, like, at least her name is pronounced mostly like how it looks.
Do I
Like,
really
she's great compared to how most of the language is romanized.
Hey, a new case to solve?
Like,
I would not have guessed it was pronounced Xing Yi. Until it was pronounced for me.
how would you have guessed it was pronounced?
Wing Yi?
Okay, that's fair.
Because I'm not used to Chinese. Or the romanization of Chinese.
I had seen a fair number of, like, martial arts movies. So at the very least, I knew that Q was generally pronounced like a CH. Like, from pretty early on. But a lot of these others I had no clue about whatsoever.
Hey, standing by.
If you need help, I shall follow. Time for some.
Wanna Officer 140? Huh? Is something the matter?
But, like, actually, like, Zhu Yuan isn't that bad, but even she's got a bit of weirdness to her name because the E in UN is, or the A in UN is pronounced more like an E than an A. Like it's pronounced UN and not Yuan.
Huh. So I've been saying that wrong for a while.
Admittedly, if you listen to how the characters pronounce it, you'd pick up on.
Yeah, they are consistent with that kind of thing, thankfully.
Yeah.
What really threw me off was Kaleda's father's name, Horse.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
Yeah, neither did I.
So I don't know if that's necessarily Chinese.
No, I think that's
Romanization.
I would assume
it sounds
that's
more German.
Slavic. German is also possible.
I'll protect. Looking and okay.
You want to test my hammer?
Inclined to assume
Oh,
Slavic.
it's Slavic.
Yeah.
It says Slavic.
On the one hand, like my inclination is both a combination, like is without looking it up, I assume Slavic, partly because Anton Ivanov is definitely a Slavic name. And I was inclined to assume Belobog would be Slavic. But I didn't actually have much of a basis for that. Other than
now that
just
you mention it,
yeah.
The names do sound more Slavic.
It also doesn't help though that Belobog in Star Rail is like a weird combination of Russia and Germany. So it's a pain.
Do not bark at me. Oh, they're barking at me now. I guess I gotta take them out. I'll be right back.
All right.
You want to test my hammer?
I'm back. What I miss? Overtime Boo is back.
Yep.
Justice for Overtime Boo.
disturbances will fade away with...
So here's another funny little character voice story for you. Elfie's voice actor has not changed, but all of her voice lines got re-recorded in I think 1.3.
Why is that?
No clue. All I know is that they were like a lot more monotone and robotic, and I think they're worse that way.
Oh, damn. I wonder why they did that.
I mean, she is a robot. I assume the idea was to make her sound more robotic. But I still think it was the wrong call.
I mean, so is Billy.
Yeah, that's true. And Xingyi.
I feel Billy's a better example here.
Yeah.
First time I was playing through, I was streaming to one of my friends. The first time Andy opened her mouth, I said, "She sounds like a robot." And then Billy was on screen.
She's just depressed.
My friend went with autistic, so.
That too.
Honestly,
all her friends are dead.
I mean, being used as a child soldier, bred only for war, and then having everyone you've ever known either killed off or you being told to kill them, with the only other alternative being your own death.
I mean, you can't have a Hoyoverse game without at least one character like that.
I'd be depressed too.
I say that, but I'm actually not sure there is a comparable character in Genshin, now that I think about it. Like, there are definitely a couple of artificial people characters in Genshin, but I don't think any of them were, like, part of a series that they had, like, that all got killed off. I don't know.
Apparently Nicole is good at dealing with traps. Real shame that every other time I've encountered that one event, I've had to send fucking Pulchra in to get repeatedly shanked by a trap.
Neat.
I mean, she's almost never on field anyway, so if anyone can afford to take a hit, it's her.
Oh yeah, like, if I'm running her or Trigger and need someone to take damage, they're first on the list every time. It's still kind of funny, though.
Don't tell me Bernice wouldn't also do the same thing.
The simple blue-green hue.
Oh no. Purchasing items from Bamboo merchants costs HP instead of gear coins. Jesus Christ. On the store, too. I can spend upwards of 26% of my agent's health
Mm-hmm.
for one item. Not a good item. Yes, fairy squad members require healing.
I'll bet you never could have guessed such a thing might be the case.
The simple blue-green hue depicts the trend.
I don't even know what SNB's health is at right now. Yeah, that is less than 25% already.
So, funny story.
I haven't even seen combat yet.
Funny story. I think my second ever stream of this game, I was playing Hollow Zero and went into the final boss fight of a run with every character like below 1,000 health.
How'd it go?
Took me an hour.
Well, thankfully, I haven't run into that kind of problem yet. The only time I've run into that kind of problem was with very endgame content.
Yeah, funny enough, the Hollow Zero I was running at the time was level 30. But also, it was like the second day the game existed, so no one had leveled characters.
Everyone was still figuring out how the game worked at that point. I'm willing to bet.
Pretty much, yeah.
And he didn't have Miyabi to carry ya.
Correct. I was running Nekomata, Anbi, and Nicole. Didn't even have Ellen yet. I was still throwing pulls at her.
The warm wooden base feels like...
You know, I think Fairy is lying when she says that you can pay enemies to get out of your way. I think she's misinformed.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
The peony represents lingering affection.
Observing the symbiosis in the ethereals. Oh no. We do not need them working together.
Funny enough, they kind of already do.
I don't like it.
I don't remember. I think this started being a thing like just last patch. But there's actually like a specific enemy you'll find that looks like one of the really generic ethereals, but with like a stinger tail and its head is all spiky.
Oh
And
yeah,
when
that
you kill
fucking
it,
thing.
like
It's
a
got like
little
the face
white
hugger.
crawly thing falls off of it, and you have to kill that too.
I don't think you have to kill it, but you can.
Yeah, I think it just runs away. But why wouldn't you?
I don't like it. Frankly, I find the idea of an ethereal that thinks offensive.
Ooh. Apropos of nothing other than just it came to mind. So, like, I know I've mentioned to you how the members of Victoria Housekeeping are, like, themed after horror movie monsters. The members of Public Security are themed after the Chinese Zodiac.
I could see it.
Zhu Yuan is the rooster, Ching Yi is the dragon, and then Jane and Seth are both kind of obvious. Except the funny thing about Seth is there isn't actually a cat in the Chinese Zodiac. But there is a cat in the myths surrounding the Chinese Zodiac.
I do remember my sister and I talked about the Zodiac at some point recently. Apparently the cat was
betrayed by the rat.
Yeah. What was he? Yeah.
The cat and the rat schemed together to beat all the other animals in a race, and then right at the end, the cat was betrayed and was the only one that didn't make it to the end.
I thought it was a fucking race. My sister didn't believe me when I said that I remember
there are
being
a number of different myths, but as I understand, the rat betraying the cat is consistent across all of them. And the rat coming in first in whatever the competition is consistent across all of them.
The way that I remember the story was, if I remember correctly, it is the rat, then like the ox, right?
I believe so.
I remember the story going that they are in a race. The rat is riding on the head of the ox and then jumps in front of him at the last second to win.
Yeah.
That's a story I remember.
You know what? I just remembered too. Zhu Yuan, funny enough, is in a kind of similar position to Lucy, where her parents are vaguely aware of a guy she spends time with and bother her about it.
Yep. Add her to the list, I guess. Because that makes 3 so far, it seems like. Lucy, Miyabi, and Juyuan.
Yeah.
I
Miyabi is the only one whose like parent actually knows and actively tries to get Wise together with his daughter, though. Like, in both of the other cases, it's just the character's respective parents are vaguely aware of him.
Yeah. And most likely tease about. Because, I mean, if I were a parent and it was happening to my kid, I'd be teasing them nonstop about that.
But also, like, Lucy doesn't get along with. She only ever mentions her dad, so I kind of assume her mom probably just isn't around, like probably died or something.
I think it's a safe assumption. I am still caught up on Zhu Yuan being the rooster.
I mean, does it not
the second you said it, I remembered that giant fucking ponytail that she's got.
Mm-hmm.
And it immediately clicked for me. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. That is funny.
The warm wooden base feels like the...
So the real question is, Should I just full on go with the joke?
Give me 1 second.
With giving an empty flower pot to Hugo, because that literally checks like his one condition and also his preference.
Give Hugo the pot.
Engraved with a profound charm, understated yet dignified.
Understated yet dignified.
What's the matter,
Oh,
manager?
you got a bot in chat.
Is my present
Oh,
not to your
look at that.
liking?
Possible ban evader.
Oh boy. Can't say I'm terribly surprised by that. 1 second.
Isn't this the rare flower Victoria Housekeeping's been looking for? Nineveh? Where did you get it from?
Before Vivian mentioned it, I had never heard of a flower that feeds upon the hollows for nutrients like an ethereal, nor a flower that looks like a symbiotic ethereal. However, it is something that a client of Victoria Housekeeping wanted, so it's not surprising it's rather unique. So I asked around. Let me guess. Did Lycon say something like, "This flower requires an extremely difficult and specific environment and is far from easy to cultivate. It is also extremely dangerous to try growing any plants in areas repeatedly ravaged by Hollow Zero"?
Spent a
I
full
suspected of
18
Hugo.
seconds in combat
Even the
there.
description you gave is almost word for word what Lycon said.
Well, that's because these are facts we both know of. I managed to find an elusive flora expert who likes these kinds of flowers and planted a few at home. A flower so rare and precious that most haven't even heard of it is to another person merely a small part of their hobby. It's quite normal for it to be that way, no? In any case, I came to inform you the moment I obtained the flower.
You're so kind, Hugo. But I think Lycon said...
That he didn't want a certain someone to put themselves in danger to get this flower. And it didn't matter if even he couldn't fulfill his client's wish. Allow me to assure you, in the process of obtaining Nineveh and gifting it to you, no person nor ethereal came to harm. In fact, no one even got close to Hollow Zero. Please, accept it, dear manager. Just take it as if a bird flew by with flowers in its beak and dropped it from the sky as a gift for you, Of course. Since it is a surprise gift, there should be no need to tell anyone where you obtained it.
So basically, Hugo's all like, "I'll help Lycon out, but I'm really petty, so I want to make sure he doesn't know I helped him."
Well, we can't have him thinking that he likes him or anything.
transcendent beauty is often dangerous and alluring.
Oh yeah, the mysterious field work.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Oh yeah, out of curiosity, have you ever seen the Butler Bang Boo's animations in combat?
Yeah. You use him when you're in the Ballet Twins, especially.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
How he just like sets out a table and cooks up a pancake and then smacks the ethereal with it.
It was wonderful. First time I saw that, I about died laughing.
Dear manager, you've given the Nineveh that I brought you to Lycon, correct?
I gave the flower arrangement with Nineveh to Lycon already, yeah. Is there a problem?
Of course not. That's the real deal, all right. Their client must
He mentioned
be
me, right?
delighted. However, I'm guessing you don't know the details behind this banquet.
There's been too many coincidences lately. I can guess the gist of it at this point.
Then I'll fill you in on the details, shall I? As you've probably guessed, this time, Victoria Housekeeping's client has many controversial businesses. One involves a high-quality mine near Blazewood. They only just managed to estimate the value of that mine a few days ago. It's worth an inordinate amount of Denny's, enough to make the owner jump for joy. However, as I'm sure you know, Outer Ring Hollows are quite unstable. Not long after, the area was deemed to be at high risk for hollow disasters. Fearing potential safety concerns, PubSec ordered them to stop work. Naturally, the owner awakened from his fantasy of making a fortune and didn't want to let go of his cash cow. After asking around, he decided to ask for help from a certain powerful individual. Yes, that honored guest upstairs. It's not difficult to find out that honored guest's preferences. What he cares about most is his dear daughter. And the flowers he keeps at home. Nineveh.
I'm going to go ahead and make a wild prediction. Just based off of I know how writing works. The honored guest in question is Lilac's dad. My first thought was Lucy's, but then I remembered, hey, Lilac has actually appeared in this quest and was complaining about her dad. And about some specific flower, or some such.
I'm surprised you're willing to help someone who would ignore hollow disaster risks and safety concerns for profit like that.
Now, don't put it that way. I just simply can't bear to watch a dear friend fail to complete his client's request. That's all. Look at the time. The situation upstairs should have settled by now.
Also, I wonder if Hugo stole
Is
the
that
flower in
so?
question
You seem to know a
from
lot.
Lilac's dad. That'd be funny.
Nah, Mockingbird wouldn't steal like that.
Just couldn't imagine such a thing.
What are you doing here, Lycon? How's the situation with the banquet and Nineveh?
My client's wishes were dashed the moment he gifted Nineveh to the honored guest.
Oh?
He was impatient to make an impression, and rushed to find out what that honored guest liked, but failed to ascertain the meaning behind the flower. He wanted to curry favor with his gift, but knew nothing of the person he was attempting to please. That gentleman did not favor Nineveh for its rarity or beauty, but instead because his friend sacrificed their life for him, allowing him to escape Hollow Zero. And the area he escaped to just so happened to have Nineveh growing there.
Nostalgia from a big shot like that is just like a performance. However, if they've been led onto the stage by another unwillingly, of course he'd be unhappy.
Hugo.
All right. Continue your heroic narrative about some great and powerful figure.
He does that pout voice very
That
well.
gentleman favors Nineveh as he doesn't wish to forget his friend's sacrifice. Also to remind himself to continue fighting the hollow disasters and protect more people. As such, someone using this flower to ingratiate himself and convince him to ignore the pressing dangers and sweep it all under the rug never had a sliver of a chance.
I see. So that honored guest is Lilac's father? She mentioned Nineveh and her father's friend before.
Wow. A story that comes full circle. Amazing. Too bad it was so cliché. You added so many exaggerations, it was hardly even close to an unbiased, objective retelling.
You...
Oh, did I ruin your perfect performance? So sorry. However, if you could be so kind as to pull yourself together from that sob story and remember the plans we made today, perhaps you'll realize we have somewhere to be. Say, right about now.
Oh, right. My apologies, Master Proxy. Hugo and I will be taking our leave now. My colleagues from Victoria Housekeeping will take good care of you.
Lord Phaethon, did Lycon and Hugo leave already? No one took this pot of flowers. I was going to give it to them.
They just left. If it's important, you could probably still catch up to them.
No, I think I'm good. Right. You said before that flowers can be used to express things unsaid. Even the same flower can express different voices, right? The Nineveh that gentleman keeps at home tells of his comrade's sacrifice and protection. However, this one for the banquet is just a welcome from the organizers, trying to butter someone else up. So, even if these are his favorite flowers, he doesn't want them. I understand. But who should have these flowers now?
how about me? I've been helping out at the flower shop for a while now, and I haven't even gotten Belle anything yet.
You are going to keep these flowers, Lord Phaethon? Then, when you see it, you'll be reminded of me.
It's pretty heavy, huh?
These flowers are pretty inconvenient to carry around, so I thought I'd bring it back home first.
I don't think I've ever seen flowers like this in the flower shop. Is it a really rare flower?
Yep, it's really rare. Miss Orchidea and Lycon both searched high and low for several days and still couldn't find one. Hugo just so happened to find it and gave it to me. But now, I guess you could say it's fulfilled its purpose. I thought you might like them, so I brought them back.
Really? Giving flowers. I've learned a bit about the language of flowers. Each one has its own meaning. You were out for so long, but only came back with this single pot of flowers. Is there a special meaning to it?
Perhaps that's what others would do, but that's not why I did it. Try again?
Wait, you aren't that superficial and shallow, are you, Wise? So, is it just because you thought it looked pretty?
Nope, not that either.
So, if it's not the most beautiful, and it's not to convey some special meaning, why did you bring it back?
Because it's the most expensive.
That's hella expensive! I'm gonna take this back to my room now!
The sunshine today is lovely. Perfect. disturbances will fade away. The simple... The simple blue...
I do enjoy how relaxing this event was.
Yeah. I think as far as like the relaxing doing a job kind of events go, I think my favorite is not actually from Zenless. Star Rail had like a drink mixing event that I liked a lot.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Something about like the sound effects of like the drinks being poured and the ice like being put into a cup and the physics it had just made it just
Very satisfying.
Yeah.
One cannot help but sigh at separation. Just... picking out a bouquet to brighten your mood, don't you think? Tulips symbolize tolerance.
You know, I keep forgetting how good the mindscapes can be.
Like how strong some of them are.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
evidently there's one for Zhu Yuan that just refills her shotgun shells
Yep.
if they drop to
Next
0
time you
after a
visit,
chain shot.
You might encounter
I
a
wish I had
bouquet that
access to
opens up
that
your heart.
regularly.
Sandy
Granted,
has
to take
a
this
really
class.
good one.
Number 0, Anby.
Let's see.
Granted, I doubt I'd get use of all the shotgun shells before the stun window's up, but
Yeah. Sanby's second one
Standing by.
lets you just instantly do 6 of her special attack after an ultimate. Like, you know how you can normally only charge her star up to get 3 attacks? Her second Mindscape overcharges her star, so you can immediately do 6 right on the back of it.
my god.
Yeah.
Okay. I definitely wish I had that one.
Out of all of the Mindscapes I've seen, I think the biggest
Do I
game
really need to
changer
take
is
this
actually
class?
Ellen's second one. Or is it her second? Yeah. Her second basically just completely changes her attack combos in a way that makes her just way easier to actually both her first and second make her way easier to use, and then her second just gives her a massive damage boost.
Waking up at 8? I'm so tired.
Trying to think of some others. Honestly, Miyabi's
Do
are
I
kind of
really need to take
underwhelming
this
in my
class?
opinion. Hers are mostly just number boosts.
Officer 1, the
I've heard
anticipation
good
on
things about
stage
Astra's
is the
first. I've
perfect
not actually
prelude.
looked at it.
Considering how powerful Miyabi is just by default, I wouldn't be too upset about it.
That's fair. But Astra's first one is just like, it looks like stacking up to a total of, I think, 18% enemy damage resistance debuffing. And also, she instantly gains a third of her ultimate when a battle starts. So yeah, Astra's first one is
awesome.
kind of busted.
Anticipation off stage is the perfect prelude.
Oh yeah,
Officer, do I
Trigger's
have the eye of
first one
Owl?
reduces the cooldown on her off-field attacks by a second, which is basically just a 30% damage and stagger boost. Vivian's first one automatically refunds one of her charges when she uses 4.
Standing by.
Had made re.
Did you follow me?
Let's start the
Honestly, I don't know a lot of the
Awaiting
others.
further.
Don't look at me.
Generally speaking, I try to avoid actually looking at any characters' mindscapes for fear I'll be tempted to spend more money to get them.
Understandable.
Also, going back to mentioning it earlier, the drink mixing event in Star Rail is actually one of the game's replayable events.
That's nice to know. I would not have missed it. I will not be missing it.
Man, I think they missed an opportunity with this title, but oh well.
What's that?
I was saying I think they missed an opportunity with the title you get from the flower event.
How so?
They could have made it self-referential.
I gotcha.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much. That's not it.
I'll be right back. My food is here.
How could you?
Quite easily.
Hey, Okara's here. Welcome. Unfortunately, I will not be streaming for very much longer, but fortunately, I will be streaming for longer, even if it's not much. I was thinking about streaming tomorrow, but honestly, probably not. I should be on Thursday, although I've not actually thought about what I'll be playing. I have been thinking about that, but right now I just don't want to pay full price for it, even if full price is less than it would be for a lot of other games. I might go and see if it's on, like, CD keys for a bit cheaper or something. I don't know. I used it for a couple of things. You can usually get like around $5 to $10 off of a lot of games using it, but you are technically buying at your own risk when you do.
Let me finish my
Looking at
Good day.
eradicate the anticipation. Take a deep.
This I would.
We fighting? Nothing to fear.
Want to see the Reds?
So
Good.
I'm here.
Need something? My services are
Only
good day.
eradicate the anticipation.
Need.
Take a deep.
Officer 148.
The anticipation off stage is the perfect prelude.
Huh?
I am the Eye of Obel.
This is the. I would never
This is
turn
probably a
over.
terrible team,
Do I
and I
really
will
need to take
regret
this
it.
class?
But I'm gonna try it anyway.
Make sure to get me an absent note.
What the?
Recalibrating.
Oh my! Better not get my trust.
No mercy. Okay. Get back. Break time. Hurry up. You're the boss master. Time to go home. Break time. You're the boss master. Break time.
Honestly, that's not bad at all.
Engaging head on. Adjusting for wind. Good riddance.
Allow me. Don't you know? Get my first dirty little pig.
Oh,
Get lost. You're the boss master. Break time. You're the boss master. Time to go home. You're the boss master. Recalibrating. Travel suit. Take this. At your service. Weak spot. The target's weary.
Not worth my time. Learn. Love.
Get back. Time to go home. You're in my break time. You're the boss master. Time to go home. Break time. Time to go home.
this team might not be as bad as I was afraid it would be.
Oh, is Ramp doing an Oblivion remastered stream?
If I can get it for cheap enough.
Copy. Adjusting for wind.
Oh, fair enough. I'd pay full price for it if I could, though.
What a pain.
If I didn't have
For what I've
anything else to play, I'd be tempted to pay full price for it, but as it is right now, I've got plenty of stuff.
At the end of the day, it is still a remaster. Apparently one of the most well-done remasters since the Resident Evil series, but still just a remaster.
So I've heard. I mean, here's the thing. Oblivion was a game I was thinking about playing at some point anyway. So I'm going to get the remaster eventually and give it a try. Just not necessarily soon.
I definitely recommend Oblivion as a game. It is my childhood game. I think the only other game I played before that was Morrowind, back when I was too young to understand what video games actually were. So pretty much what I did was, my dad taught me how to open a console and type toggle God mode. I just ran around poking people with daggers and running away.
See, my childhood games are probably Medal of Honor from 1999, like the original Medal of Honor. I think released in 99. Hot Wheels Extreme Racing, I believe was the name of it, a PS1 Hot Wheels game.
Yeah.
Trying to think of all the other PS1 games we had. Lego Rock Raiders. Not PS1, this was on PC, but Lego Racers 2. I think 2. I don't think... No, it was 1. Because I don't remember. Some Lego Racers game.
I think I've heard of that one, yeah.
An absolutely massive number of, like, in-browser Flash games.
Well, those were definitely a given, though. Every kid played those back in the day. Are they confirmed to be remastering Fallout 3?
So, from what I've seen is a while back there was a leaked list from Bethesda that included the Oblivion remaster on it, and that list also had Fallout 3, so a lot of people have taken the Oblivion remaster to mean everything on that list is true.
I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say everything on that list is going to happen, but with how well received the Oblivion remake is, I would be incredibly surprised if they didn't give Fallout 3 the same treatment.
I'd rather they give it to New Vegas than 3 personally, but...
Sure, but New Vegas wasn't as much of a Bethesda project as Fallout 3 was.
No, but they're the ones that have the rights to it, so if someone's gonna do anything with it, they're the ones that'll do it.
Yeah, but remember, Todd hates Fallout New Vegas.
Well,
Todd Howard
I hate
himself
Todd,
has a personal vendetta against Fallout New Vegas. He wants to kill Fallout New Vegas entirely.
Well, yeah, because he can't... He just can't live with the fact that someone other than him made a better game than he did.
Okara says 3 was better.
Okara is allowed to be wrong.
Fallout 3 has its own charm.
I don't dislike Fallout 3. I just like New Vegas more.
Wait, New Vegas is the better game.
I don't even care about the better game. I like its setting more. And it's like its vibe, I guess.
Mechanically speaking, and especially story-wise, New Vegas is the better game. But the vibes of Fallout 3
Okay.
I enjoyed it by the Fallout 3 more. That and the exploration felt a little more rewarding in 3. I couldn't tell you why.
I mean, I'll also add, I can't remember the last time I enjoyed exploring an open world. Like, I enjoy games in spite of their being open world, rather than because of their open world. That's actually one of the big reasons why I took so quickly to Zenless, as opposed to Wuthering Waves, which was another gacha game that released around the same time, is that Zenless wasn't an open world, and that was a good thing for me. I also just generally like its gameplay and like characters and settings and like setting better, but like I enjoyed it not being an open world, and that's a big part of why I took so quickly to it.
I can understand that.
So like, yes, I plan to play the Oblivion remaster. While there was certainly a point in time when I would have loved it, guaranteed, I'm not sure that that's actually necessarily the case now, like it would have been a few years ago. And while I will almost... God, you're kidding me. While I will almost certainly try out whatever Fallout game gets remastered, I'm not sure I'll really care for it so much either, for the same reason.
You're cornered.
Just been kind of burned out on exploring large worlds like that with little direction.
Pretty much, yeah. I have been for a very long time.
I can understand that. I started playing through Tale of Two Wastelands. I definitely understand that too. I think I'm starting to get that same thing with Tale of Two Wastelands. Just playing through Fallout 3. Like, I get a quest to go to literally just the next neighborhood over, and I get that sense of dread of having to walk all the way there.
Execution continue.
Hit the core.
I definitely understand it. Oblivion might be better than a lot of newer Bethesda games for that, because almost everything in it has some kind of quest related to it, so you actually have a reason to go there.
Well, I don't think being better than newer Bethesda games is exactly a high bar to achieve.
I mean specifically for what you're looking for. Like newer Bethesda games have a lot more internalized? I don't know. How the hell do I want to say this?
Wow, how do you want to say it?
Like like your own personal reasoning for going somewhere. They rely on that a lot more with newer Bethesda games. Like an internal motive to explore.
They rely more on the expectation that the player will want to explore, as opposed to giving the player a direction to go. Which I do think is a big part of the success of Skyrim. But I also, and like, I really liked Skyrim when I played it, like 15 years ago.
Yeah, because the open world was still pretty new
15 years ago. It would be like, I got Skyrim late, so probably more like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
But I've played too many open world games, and too many of them were just bad.
I'm gonna guess you'll have a very specific reaction to the words Radiant Quest.
No, because I'm not entirely sure what you actually mean.
Like a randomly generated quest,
Okay.
specifically at that runtime.
I don't even necessarily mind that. Like
Fallout 4 did that a lot. And Oblivion came out before that, where most if not all quests were handcrafted.
Yeah. See, I don't necessarily mind some, like, the kind of generated quests. Like, I think handcrafted is generally better, but my thing is, like, trying to think. One of the biggest games that killed open worlds for me was Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I've heard that quite a few times myself.
Like,
Adjusting for wind. The melody of combat.
Take this.
1 second, I've been distracted by combat.
Don't hesitate.
At least doubles seem to be kicking your ass a little bit more than usual, huh?
I have not actually properly played this game, and I guess since I finished off the bit of story, like the story chapter last week.
Fair.
But also the little bit of playing I've been doing here and there has been with Miyabi, a character who has attack deflections built into her normal attacks. So I've not really had to play the game.
Understandable. I mean, that and her attacks are pretty much tap the button until you get a certain amount of tokens, then hold the button.
Yeah, that too. Like, I don't dislike Miyabi. I do like how she plays, but like Ellen is a lot more involved to play properly than Miyabi, and I really like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I had Ellen, I'd definitely be figuring out how to use her.
I mean, okay. The problem with Ellen is that I think she's a huge pain to play if you don't have if you don't have Mindscape 2. So like, unless you like, I wouldn't say there's a reason to get her unless you can get to that point, personally. But maybe that's just me being too used to how she plays with it. And honestly, at the very least in Battlefront Purge, a lot of her, like, she was one of the first characters to get, like, the unique gear that changes how she plays in Battlefront Purge. And a lot of her unique gear does fix a lot of the issues with her kit.
Laser vision activated.
To your credit, you're usually not wrong if you focus on
You're the boss, Master. Break time.
In the experience of the things that you tell me and I test for myself, you're usually not wrong.
Well, I do like to think that, but I have been wrong at least a time or two in the past. Okay. Also, keep in mind a lot of the times when I'm telling you things, it's in Warframe, a game which I've been playing for 12 years.
Oh, definitely. I mean specifically with this.
Well, this is a game, A, that I've been playing since it released, and B, that is mechanically very similar to both Genshin, like, in terms of build mechanics, is very similar to both Genshin and Star Rail.
Yeah. You have experience with the genre and the mechanics.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's, like, necessarily... Well, I don't know. I guess it is mechanics common to a lot of gacha games, but I've not actually played outside of the ones developed by Hoyo specifically. I've only played a couple of other gacha games. I should have just gone with the heal twice and then restarted if I lost a character instead of taking the dewdrop. Oh well.
Yeah, Ellen is there. He's a little low there. Just don't get hit.
Take this.
What was that?
Heavy weapons guy. Got you with a laser, looks like.
If he got me with a laser, it must have been an awfully transparent one.
Don't hesitate.
Okay.
Sniper's Creed. One shot, one kill.
Didn't have a heavy stun, I guess. Okay. Okay. They need to do something to actually indicate to the player, like if they're gonna have enemies that sometimes do a 3-chain stun and sometimes only do 2, they need to have something that indicates to the player which one an enemy will have.
Don't hear any arguments from me.
Ether vision activate.
I just gotten into a habit of overcorrecting.
Don't mess up my nails.
I think like overcorrecting is usually it.
I'm scissors, you're paper.
You having fun over there, Overtime Biv?
It also doesn't help, admittedly, that I went into this fight knowing that this was a team that made absolutely no sense.
You wait for me.
I was wondering what the thought process was.
The thought process was, this would be funny if it worked.
Oh, is it funny?
And it kind of works, actually. Kind of is the emphasis, though.
hesitate.
I'm happy to be a servant.
Does this boss have a double attack with no animation?
It sure seems that way.
That's bullshit.
You know, I should be getting paid double for working overtime.
Adjusting for wind. This bullet will reach its mark.
I feel like I would vibe with Ellen so much.
Hit the core.
Yeah.
That groan was... I felt that groan on a spiritual level.
I'm not exactly thrilled to be serving you. Oops, I just said that.
Recalibrating.
Put it down.
Ow.
Who dares get between me and Lord Satan?
It should still do the trick. It did not do the trick.
If it had just killed Ellen right at the end, I would have laughed.
I wouldn't have. How is that an S?
It was within 4 minutes.
Oh, right. That only time matters. I forgot. The way the Bang Boo's arms, like, are flailing and, like, it just looks like such a panicked run is always funny to me.
Pretty much everything related to the Bang Boos will always be incredibly funny to me. I want one.
Vision activate. Not as easy.
Out of the way.
For just a second.
Don't hesitate.
I'm happy to be a servant.
I wonder how effective trigger stances would be for an actual sniper rifle.
Not.
Break time. Time to go home.
What? I don't know if you saw this. The stun phase just ended, and it has already started again.
There we go. I don't know why I lost audio for a second.
Weird.
I guess my PC's haunted.
Believable.
I can see some of trigger stances being decent with the rifle, though.
Some of them, I guess, but not many.
Wind speed and direction confirmed. Let's keep moving.
Like,
Ether vision activate.
I feel like this is supposed to be too powerful of a rifle for just a crouch like this to work. But like the lying down, maybe. I still feel like that is just a kind of awkward position to be shooting from.
I mean, the rifle may be magnetically guided instead of being an actual firearm.
It could be like a railgun. Yeah.
I imagine a railgun would have significantly less recoil, but with how much she is flying back.
That's, well, I can't zoom in, but the little things on her hips are jets. Like, she uses those for propulsion and, like, to push herself forward and back during certain attacks. Like, you can see them lighting up and, like, flashing and firing in some of her attack animations. But funny enough, railguns have 0 recoil, as a matter of fact. No one really understands why, but various tests with the 1, 2, some number of railguns that the US Navy has built have not detected any amount of recoil when firing them.
Really?
Yep.
And I'd imagine that there'd be some. But I guess considering they're magnets, maybe.
There wouldn't be recoil. Like, it makes sense that there wouldn't be recoil as we generally understand it. But I'd still expect there to be some kind of, like, pushback on it.
Yeah.
But apparently there isn't. Like, it's something that has specifically been studied by the Navy, and they've not found it to have any recoil whatsoever.
Do you think it's just that the amount of recoil they have is so negligible considering how fucking huge the gun itself would have to be?
The gun is in fact huge and requires a nuclear reactor to power. But, like, they have some very precise equipment that apparently has detected nothing.
I feel like that is wrong, but I have no way to disprove it.
It's something that I was doing research on a few years ago for some reason.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I've done the exact same thing. I had an idea for a game of some sort that led me down the rabbit hole of how much silica is there on the moon.
Neat.
Like, what? Like, how much? Like, to the effect of what is needed for some kind of ecosystem to exist on the moon. So my best hypothesis would be it would have to be a silicon-based life form, like the xenomorph. Silicon, silica, something like that. And since evidently the moon is mostly made up of silica,
Adjusting for wind.
silica, we'll want to do it. It was a while ago, and I only internalized like a little bit of it before getting immediately bored. But
Sounds
I
about
have
right.
learned. I have learned a little bit.
Take this. Break time. Time to go
I had the
home.
idea of some kind of game that would take place on the moon.
Get lost.
It led me down the pathway of how would these enemies survive on the moon, disconnected from outside help? And the simple answer is they wouldn't.
Hit the core. I'm happy to be of service.
Surprisingly enough, there's very little organic matter on the moon.
Crazy how that works. Oh, I forgot about this. I hate this.
It's not so bad.
I'm bad at games. But also, I wasn't using Ella the last time I had to deal with this, and she's really fast.
That's bad.
Miyabi would also be very good dealing with it.
Take this. Break time.
Ether vision activate.
Oh, that's gonna hit me again, isn't it? Yes, it sure is. Several times, in fact.
Out of the way. Get lost. Time to go home.
My bullets are one with the wind. Don't hesitate.
I'm happy to be of service. Don't you know? Hit my dress dirty little pig. Get lost. Break time. Time to go home. Take this.
I missed that dodge pretty badly.
That was a lot of damage.
It was.
Recalibrating. This bullet will reach its mark.
Okay.
Who dares get between me and
That's
Lord
not actually
Satan?
gonna hit. That's what I thought.
At least over time, do it didn't work.
My bullets are one
I
with
see
the
those yellow
wind.
numbers. You're doing great, little guy.
Boring opponent.
Hit the core.
I'm happy to be of service. As my master wishes.
That could
Have we
have gone
gotten to
worse.
see? Yeah.
What?
Have we gotten to see what Trigger's eyes look like underneath that mask?
Nope.
I mean, the in-game model doesn't even have anything for her, but
Correct. The general assumption is that they probably look like they probably have the same kind of purple and green glowy kind of look that a lot of like ethereals have. Since, you know, the entire issue is that her eyes are corrupted. I need to look and see what discs I even need.
Waking up at Officer Take It This.
I would never
Power
turn down
Vivian's
Lord
discs.
Satan.
Bad for an anomaly character. Mediocre. That could be decent. okay, terrible, and okay.
Good day, Lord Phaeton.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I never showed you the before and after for my S&B.
You did not.
Let me do so real quick. Alright, so it isn't quite as night and day as I thought it was, but still. Huge improvement here. Going from a 70.8% crit damage to 130%.
That is a pretty significant boost, though. Was it different discs in the same set, or like was it just a complete switch?
I think I did use the same 4 set.
Yeah.
I think I swapped out the 2 set.
Makes sense.
Did not get a screenshot of which discs I was using, unfortunately.
I'm not gonna bother assigning that right now. Okay, that's a monthly, not a weekly. Still no Robin.
Damn. At least I'm having luck in one area.
But now I'm at the issue of I don't actually know which one of these I ought to pick.
Waking up at 8? I'm so tired.
I can't like sort by anything. It just pulls up.
It's our turn, bro.
Ready and waiting.
I have two.
Awaiting further instructions. Ready and waiting.
I shall follow your orders. I'm at your disposal.
Uh-oh. Okay, that was weird.
If you need help,
Ready for
You want to test my...
a new case to solve? One?
I'll help you win. The lunch is on you.
Okay, I think
Did you call
an extra
me?
Lycon is probably the most valuable option for me.
Attendant Lycon at your service.
Waking up at 8.
come on.
Awaiting further...
I shall follow your orders. I'm at your disposal.
Okay. Well, I think with that, I'm gonna call it a night.
Understandable.
Let's see. I should be back with some kind of stream of who knows what on Thursday. If I don't come up with any other ideas before then, it'll probably just be Soulframe. But
I'm sure
I
you'll
guess
figure
we'll
something
see.
out.
But if anyone's still here, thanks for watching.
I think Okara's still here.
Most likely.